Sup, dudes? Ray here. So, a lot of you watching probably already know what a beef set is. But for those of you who may need a reminder, sometimes these games get a little serious. Sometimes these fighting games escalate beyond just friendly competition. Sometimes you need to prove a point, and you need to establish yourself and let your opponents know that you ain't sweet. Kind of like that time Sonic Fox had to prove that point to Perfect Legend 13 times in a row.
I said his
Oh,
fundamentals were bad. I
come
did say
on,
that.
PL. Come on, PL. You should walk away now,
Okay,
homie.
I'm
You
not
should
done.
just go home, bro. You're not gonna come out of this looking good.
Huh?
Or maybe when Viscount had to put LTG in his place and cut probably one of the most legendary promos out there.
There's going to come a point when you forget about what happened, and you're going to want to come back at me, and you're going to want to wash the taste of my dick out of your mouth. So what I'm...
And sometimes these beef sets can really cause more trouble than it's worth. And usually, despite what the beef is over, how it ended, who's playing, I would consider beef sets to be a sort of attraction of the FGC. Because most of the time, you really get to see some passion and heated words and exchanges, bro. You really get to see the peak of performance because you get to see two people really lay it out on the line. And in these cases, when you're having these beef sets, it's almost as much, if not more, about the mental game than it is about skill. Because at that point, not only is it about just who the better fighter is or who the better player is or anything like that, you're in front of a big crowd and you are really trying not to lose at this point because losing a beef set is much more than just losing a game. And so when you're doing these things, when you're entering these things, you really have to have a mental toughness. You got to have a spiritual toughness. If not, you're going to get eaten alive and you're not going to have fun. And in today's video, we're going to talk about just such a beef. Now, before we jump into this video, I do want to give a disclaimer and sort of set the tone for the overall video. This video is not intended to make fun of anybody or trash anybody or anything like that. I don't have any beef with anybody in this video, and ultimately, in my opinion, I don't think that you need to have beef to be in the fighting game community. I think beefing is a very special thing. It's a very unique thing, but it's not needed to be good or noted or anything like that, right? There's plenty of great content creators out there. There's plenty of great players out there, not just in Tekken, but in all forms of fighting games that have all the success without having beef. So just because you can't handle beef or you're not good at trash talking or anything like that doesn't make you a bad Tekken player or anything like that. This video is just purely for analytical purpose, and it gives me an opportunity to talk about something that I think really needs to be brought up, especially now in the modern FGC world where a lot of new players are jumping in and some players might end up in spots they may not be ready for.
Yoshimitsu, get ready for the next battle.
Now, this particular beef set was actually brought to my attention by my boy TK Nex from the community. Go check them out, bro. They're a really good group of people, really solid Tekken players, really solid people, just in general. Now, while I was just chilling in TK's stream, he was actually watching Mike Hollow's stream running, I guess it was the third beef set, if I'm not mistaken, between D All the Way G and Moonsault Slayer. Now, there's one other person I do want to acknowledge in this, and that's Shinblade TV. Throughout this whole beef set on this video, we can see Shin actively trying to coach both players, and more importantly, trying to guide Moonsault specifically through this beef set and how to deal with this beef set. Because, like I said before, this is definitely more of a mental game than it is a skill game at that point.
In all respect, though, in this situation, it's supposed to be more noise than what it is. So you can't let any talk in here throw your game off.
And I think Shinblade knew that enough, and I think Shinblade really understood that Moonsault might not understand this. And so throughout the whole video, you can really see that despite all the crap talking and stuff like that, that he really was trying to help. And for that, man, I got to give you big props, because I do remember moments that I had where I wish I had somebody kind of like you guiding me through this shit. Now, ultimately, it led to me becoming a better person and understanding how to deal with stress and things like that. Sure, I made it out fine. But I do want to acknowledge the fact that people like you are very appreciated in this world, especially in the beef set culture, because you're, at least from the video I've seen, man, you were kind of like the shepherd in all this. And as we will see later on, it's real easy to get lost in the beef. And people like Shinblade aren't common enough in the FGC. Now, I wasn't aware that they had beef before this, but apparently this is the third beef set. The last one was a money set. I think Moonsault won, if I'm not mistaken. But apparently these guys have had problems with each other enough times to have 3 whole ass sets on this. Now, unfortunately, as you'll see, this beef set was plagued with lag. Oh my God, we're talking 600 plus ping, and it pretty much affected everybody.
No. Hey, if you don't duck that string, I might have to. Oh my God.
Damn.
Now, we're all familiar with lag. I think we all have encountered situations like that, right? And I'm only speaking for me personally, but in a beef set with something on the line like that, especially things like pride and things like that, I'm not going to settle for lag. I wouldn't settle for lag. I would either say, let's come back when the connection's better. Let's fix the connection. Let's run this in person. This would be too important for me to accept lag in that set, because at that point, it's not a matter of skill. It really isn't. It's just a matter of who can adjust to terrible conditions better. It was getting ugly. And so much so that I feel like Moonsault really wanted to say something about this.
Yeah, but D, I got a question really quick.
Y'all not listening.
I got a question really quick. Was Sulu coach here again?
It's too laggy. Y'all not listening. Y'all just blaming me for the lag. It's too laggy, bro.
However, it seemed like both competitors were still bent on completing the set. Well, that is until people started trying to figure out where the lag was coming from. And then that's when we started hearing Moonsault really started voicing his displeasure with the lag.
Like, I did it down 4-2 and it lagged and I dropped.
Whereas D, on the other hand, seemed pretty hell-bent on finishing the set, really not accepting any excuses.
Hey, I didn't get my guarantee, so it's fair game. Let's go.
Let's go, man.
I did not get my guaranteed hit throw.
He didn't get his guaranteed hit throw twice. I saw it.
So they tried continuing the set, but that lag was just hitting way too hard, man. I mean, at some points, this shit looked like a fucking stop-motion movie. It was terrible. And so they had to take a break here and kind of test the connections of both players to try to figure out where this was coming from.
I would have said something.
What's that Gen player name from Pakistan?
Hot Kid. Devilster?
Me and him played the set. It don't even lag. Something's going on between someone's like actual, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't lag like this at all. You know what I'm saying? The game don't do this. It's like someone has something up.
So they ended up having Joe Budden fight both players to kind of see where this lag was coming from. And while his matches with D All The Way G were pretty straightforward.
100 MS in like 4 bars. 83.
Yeah, that's standard.
Pretty like
the fight.
No like spikes or anything.
It was his matches with Moonsault that kind of revealed where all this shit was coming from.
I mean, it's not as slow as it was looking on stream. It is kind of spiking a little bit.
Fight each other.
Okay, now it's spiking a little bit. Now it's spiking a little bit.
Okay,
Now it's 400.
I mean, Coach House
350.
We're not blaming nobody, but if we just trying to solve the issue here. So
basically, it's Moon.
So once they were able to determine that the lag was a result of Moonsault Slayer, they had him reboot his router, and I think he also closed his stream to resolve this, and the lag went away. So they continued their set, but instead of doing a 1st to 10 all over again, they both settled on each person having 4 wins and going on from there. And at this point, D All The Way G completely swept Moonsault 6 games in a row. It was not even close.
3-3.
Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh my days.
Oh my days. I get a beef though.
Oh my days! Oh my days!
Oh my god!
Ouch!
God.
Ouch!
Mike ATO.
Ouch!
Mr. Mike
Put it in the back
ATO.
chat. Put it in the back
Mike, I
chat.
love you, baby.
10-4.
Hey man, look.
Now, this is the part of the stream that kind of got under my skin. I mean, it bothered me enough for me to want to make this video. And this is the only reason I'm even making this video, is the response we got from Moonsault Slayer after this beef. Let's give it a listen.
I think both of you guys should do a video, man. Since both of y'all came in here with respect, I want y'all to leave on it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't. It wasn't no beef on the start of it. I think y'all should actually end the beef now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. I just, I guess I'm just salty.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be salty if you lose. I lose.
Well, it's not even about losing. It's like the start was terrible, then that threw me off my whole game. But it's like, it is what it is.
What was it? Are you talking about the lag that threw you off the game, or are you talking about like you and Pork Chop?
Well, yeah. Well, like I ain't gonna make no excuses. Like, you know, adjust and adapt. You know, you had 6 games to adjust and blah blah blah. But like, I'm not gonna make a video because it's just gonna be complaints all over the place. So I'll just hold my L, and it is what it is.
For any of you watching this who may be new to the fighting game community or fighting games, you need to study this response. You need to understand that this is a great example of the absolute worst kind of response you can give after losing a beef set. There is no world that exists. There is no universe, reality, or pocket dimension, or any other space of existence that is out there where you can lose 6 straight games in a row and blame anybody other than yourself. And not only that, let's circle back on the etiquette of these things. This is 3 sets deep, so it's safe to assume that emotions are boiling. If you lose 6 games in a row, you need to at least, at the bare minimum, acknowledge the skills of your opponent. That's it. There's no other way to approach it. You should never be in a position where you lose 6 games in a row and have anything to say other than, I was outplayed today. Congratulations to whoever you just lost to. Handling things the way Moonsault handled that is a surefire way to end up as a lolcow in this world. If you try to handle losing a beef set like this the way Moonsault has handled it in his response, you're going to have a bad time, bro. That does not fly. It just makes you look like an asshole. And even later on in the stream, DLOAG goes off on Moonsault. I'm not going to show it because I'm not about the drama other than just the fighting. But this was such a poor response, man. And it's not how you should do things. It's definitely not how you should do things, because when you do things like that, when you handle it that way, you're going to get eaten alive by the community. It's happened before. It's going to continue to happen. The FGC is a force of nature, man. And if you don't respect that, if you don't play by those rules, and you don't have this kind of etiquette, you're going to get chewed up and spit out, bro. That's just no other way to it. So let's go to the closing notes here. First, I want to talk about the beef set itself and kind of see where it stands on the echelon of beef sets, right? Now, this is just my opinion, and this is just me talking subjectively. Had I not been informed of the trilogy and the history behind the two, I don't know if I would have even considered this to be a beef set. Just looking at it, just from the 3rd set, right? I haven't watched the 2nd set or the 1st set. There might have been more energy in either of those two, but for this one, it really did feel like a 3rd movie in a trilogy, right? Like it felt like Alien 3. It just wasn't really there. It didn't really get exciting until Poke Chop started talking and until the end. But even at the end, the exciting part wasn't even really about the beef. It was just about the issues you guys had with each other. I wish there would have been more trash talking, right? I wish, at least from D's end, from winning it, I wish I would have seen a little bit more jabs. But I also can understand that this might be more personal. Maybe D wants nothing to do with Moonsault at that point, and so he wasn't trying to entertain or anything like that. And I 100% get that. I understand that. And so maybe this is just too personal to have been an entertaining beef set. Either way, I think this set is going to be notable for the wrong reasons. I don't think anybody's going to care about the skill. I think people are only going to talk about the lag and, more importantly, the responses. Now, speaking of responses, I want to get into the meat and potatoes of this whole video. The whole reason I even wanted to make this video to begin with was to talk about Moonsault's response and how he handled the whole situation, from the lag to him responding the way he did after losing 0-6. By all accounts, man, you handled this terribly. I got to say it, man. And look, once again, I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning with the disclaimer. This isn't me attacking you. I don't want to diminish anything you have. I don't want to target you. This isn't even start of a beef. I have no beef with you, right? Like, I think you're an all right player, and I think the videos you make, especially about the Tekken community as a whole, are great. However, seeing the way you handled this whole situation, I think you need to stay away from beef sets. I don't think beef sets are for you, my man. I don't know if you have the mental dexterity to handle it. I don't think you have the dexterity to handle being talked to in the middle of these sets the way you were talked to, which is expected of beef sets. And I don't think you have the mental maturity to handle losing beef sets. At least from what I've seen, man. This is not how you handle it. This is how you end up turning into an LTG, right? There are just certain rules you got to adhere to, especially in the fighting game community. And these rules are here to make sure that the community grows, that the community doesn't fall into turning into a cesspool of bullshit. And when you don't follow those rules, when you don't have that etiquette, you're going to have a bad time. You had a bad time. You had a terrible time that night because you did not acknowledge those rules. And so my opinion of how you handled this is just F plus, F minus, not even a plus, F minus, my man. Now, you were so tilted that I don't even feel like you even acknowledged the fact that Shinblade was really trying to help you through this whole thing. He wasn't even trying to guide you through the matches. He was trying to guide you through how to handle this kind of pressure because it was obviously getting to you. And the fact that you didn't even thank him, you didn't even thank D all the way G for the matches, you didn't even acknowledge the fact that you got 0-6, it sets you up to be in a very terrible spot, my man. And I need you to really listen to me when I say this. How you respond to this, how you respond to the whole situation, even how you respond to me at this point is really going to set an impression on Moonsault Slayer for the foreseeable future, my man. We all saw you lost 0-6. We all saw it. Nobody will ever dispute that. We all saw the lag too. Nobody's going to dispute that. However, what we are going to talk about and what we're going to bring up is how you responded to it, man. That's the key takeaway to all this. Nobody's going to talk about the skill anymore. They're just going to talk about how salty you were and how much D got under your skin in this whole situation, man. And believe me, bro, that's not the kind of attention you want. Those are not the kind of perceptions you need to have about your character or you, Moonsault Slayer, as a person. I don't know if it's a character or not. You're at a very critical point in your content creator career. How you deal with this is going to definitely set up where you fit in the overall world of the FGC. And I think you can still redeem yourself in all of this. I think there's still plenty of opportunity for you to take this and turn it into something positive. But you're not going to do yourself any favors by catering to your ego, by coming up with excuses or blaming whoever. You really need to take this on the chin. And in my opinion, I feel like you need to make a video and you really need to accept all of this in that video. You need to accept responsibility for the situation. You need to at least acknowledge D's skills. You need to apologize for Shinblade and acknowledge the fact that he was really trying to help you in this situation. And if you do those things, man, your path to recovery is quick. You're going to be back on your feet. However, if you choose to take this negatively, if you choose to respond to this negatively, then you might as well buy yourself a Covenant jersey because that's the team you're going to be on. And I'm rooting for you, bro. I want you to do better. I like your Yoshimitsu, and I think we need more high-end Yoshimitsus on the field. But not if you're going to react like this, my guy. Not like that, dude. Anyways, that's it. That's been my rant. I just wanted to give my opinion on this. Shinblade, once again, I think you're doing the Lord's work and mediating all this and really stepping up to try and at least put the effort to try to coach a lot of these people. D all the way G, bro, you look like a psychopath in your thumbnails. So I'm going to stay away from you. However, I think fighting stronger opponents will only do good for me. So if you ever want to run a set, I'm down for it. Hell, bro, we'll even do a beef set. I'll talk shit. I don't know. But, you know, that's it. That's all I wanted to say, man. And for those of you watching, man, learn from this. Learn from this. Take your L's. Understand it. Be respectful, bro. It's okay to compliment somebody that just beat the fuck out of you, bro. It is 100% fine to compliment somebody that 6-0'd you. As a matter of fact, it's expected. You cannot take all those L's and still try to walk out like you're somehow better or that you weren't at fault or you did not just get your ass kicked, bro. Take it on the chin. Well, what about you guys? What do you guys think? Do you think this beef set was beef worthy? Do you think my opinions are beef worthy, right? Do you guys have any cool beef sets that you want to talk about? I want to explore more of this, and I think the fighting game community needs to really get a more in-depth look at things like this because there are a lot of new people to the fighting game world. There are a lot of newbies out there, bro, and I think now more than ever, we need to show these new people how to deal with these situations. Anywho, that's it. I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that like, bro. Hit that subscribe. That helps out a lot. Catch me on my streams. Say hi. Call me out. Let's start some beef. I don't give a shit, bro. It's all in fun. It's all entertainment. And with that, I'm out of here. Peace.